truly.
How many times have you cried in a bathroom at work?
Once.
Once. Sure.
Because I'm a hot ass bitch and I will not cry.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Today I am talking to my good friend Tasha Melissa Govender. We have beautiful history. We were in a digital agency together. Have a love-hate relationship, which leads to pure love, and that's what most women friendships do. Tasha is a creative consultant, book binder, wifey, and mommy to two beautiful boys. Should I say what brings us here, like what we're chatting about today?
I would definitely say yes.
So, actually, I would say we only became friends once we became proper mommies.
Yeah.
You joined the journey first, and I think I was that girl who was so oblivious watching a friend go into motherhood that I was just kind of, why are you always so mad? Or why don't you come out with us? Like, the team are going for drinks, be cool. And she always had an excuse and a reason. And I think now that I'm in the same boat, I understand the reason, and it's because the hard truth is you have a baby, you don't realize that they're so expensive, and 90%, I would say, of households need a dual income to make it work. So if you thought you were enjoying motherhood in your maternity bubble, the bubble does pop and you have to go back to the work world. And you become a working mommy, and what I love about that is it's also the name of our favorite show. Working mom.
The trauma and the trials and the joys, and honestly, it's mostly the trauma of being moms and being women, because,
I think it's just no one can prepare you for life on what living a life with split focus is.
No.
And I found it very comforting watching working moms because you don't feel alone or that screwed over by society. But it's a very deep, passionate topic for us.
It is. So look, that was a lovely introduction. And you said like really nice things about me, and also, you know, things that we'll have to discuss at a later time, of course. But that was, I swear, when I first saw that show, that it was 3 weeks into postpartum with my first child, and I sat there holding this kid, breastfeeding him, and then also doing quite a sob because everything that I was living and feeling that I couldn't articulate, I was watching it happen in front of me in a really, really hilarious way. And it was probably really hilarious to look at me. I just couldn't see it because I was in the bubble of absolute torture and confusion. But yeah, man.
Working and being a mom, it's hard. I think
weird.
I started watching the show when I wasn't a mom.
Yeah.
I was very bored. I thought they were dramatic. I was like, life's not that serious. Come to work, girls. Come. Like Kim K
just get a job and have a purpose.
Stop being lazy. Get off your ass and get your ass to work. But it's not that simple. And it's very deep for me, and the niche conversation about it is no one, even when you are pregnant and you are on mat leave, no one can prepare you for the reality of that split focus. And
not at all.
And not only moms, that's not a fair thing to say, but unless you are splitting your focus too, you will never understand how to prioritize the love of your life and what you need to do to support the love of your life. So very hard. Just based off the show, because we're fanning a bit.
Entirely.
Okay.
Let's
Who
go.
do you relate best with from working moms?
I don't even have to, like, truly, I don't even have to break this down for you, but it's Kate. It's 100%
It has
Kate.
to be Kate.
Because Kate isn't advertising. It's what we've done forever in agency.
Sure.
Bullshitting consistently, trying very desperately to keep clients happy, to live. But, like...
Wait, pause. Here's the hard thing about advertising and being a mom. The industry, it's a man's world.
Yes.
Mad men, totally. I would like someone to question me on this, but if you are not prepared to take a meeting at a random time, if you are not prepared to burn the midnight oil to crack the idea, to chase that pitch, if you are not that team player who is available to tell your personal life, not coming home tonight because we are killing it, and if you don't have that love and mindset as a mom, you can't do it.
Yeah.
And the catch-22 is you can't full-heartedly be at the pitch meeting knowing that your kid is screaming and crying at home for a cuddle.
Because this absolute brand new thing that you created, that you made inside you, that only knows you, knows the rhythm of your heart, knows the way your body is, you are their safe space. But no, you're just gonna sort of leave them at home, and you're gonna stay because this very important pitch is the thing we need to work on at 7 p.m.
And you'll find yourself being like, but I don't care. And then you start thinking like, am I not ambitious? Do I not have what it takes? How come my partner, who is also a parent, still has drive and ambition for their career?
And is not asking these questions the way I'm asking these questions.
Right?
I don't know how you felt, like, when you, not even, I don't know, maybe when you announced your pregnancy or when it first happened, but I can tell you that when I let everyone know, our bosses know, the first thing that was said to me is, who gave you permission to fall pregnant? What do you say to that?
It was inconvenient.
How dare...
For the agency.
For the agency, for your clients.
And it is the elephant in the room. I know that obviously hurt you deeply. But basically the question is, how are you going to be, Tash, amazing at your job? We value you so much with all these distractions.
Because now...
And it's a fair question, though.
It's a fair question.
Now that you look back, it's a fair question.
It's a fair question.
Because the truth is, I can't.
No. And the truth is, I'm not that same person.
You're not.
I'm not the person I was when I decided to have a baby. I'm not the person that was running around 4 months pregnant, holding a huge statue on my back to get it to a location in order to shoot, to make sure my set was done, to make sure my client was happy. I'm not that person anymore, nor do I want to be. And
Amen.
that is the big thing, because I am okay with that. And unfortunately, the work that we do doesn't allow for that. It doesn't accept that lives are going to be different, things are going to change, there is going to be a bit more balance. And I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not a system you can change. The thing you can change, however, is how you deal with that system.
So what was the most culture shocking experience that you had when you became a mom and you had to go back to work?
It's odd, okay. So advertising is a very particular thing, or being in that space is a very particular thing. You have clients, you're getting invited to events, you are
the worst
handling
when you're
those
a mom.
events. And let me tell you, I was that girl who was very happy to go, great, see you later,
Have
husband.
a fun time.
You have a good day. I will see you sometime at 2 a.m. because I've taken an extra set of clothes and my heels because I know I'm going to an after work do. I'm going to be schmoozing with clients, meeting people, doing whatever.
You really tried.
I did it, and I did it for a very long time, and I loved doing it because I loved meeting people and I loved the vibe. And then I became a mom, and quite honestly, there's a dissonance with being a mom. I wanted to be there with my baby. I wanted to be the person that I used to be, who had those heels, who just went, oh, vibes, yes, let's go. Who was told, hey, you're going to Cape Town tomorrow for a week.
Cape Town, girl. We loved those trips.
Loved those. They were so fun.
Yeah.
But now that it became a thing, and that for me was the biggest thing I couldn't do anymore, because it's not because it's twofold. You're infringing on my time, but also I'm excited to do this, but also, do you know what I'm really excited about? I really, really, really want to go home, and I really want to read a bedtime story, and I really want to give this little kid a bath, and I really want to look at your pudgy little thigh folds and kiss you and talk to you and bond with you, and I want you to have a secure attachment to me the way I am obsessively attached with you.
So I would say the hard part is that you don't, also in advertising especially, I can't speak for other industries.
You know, it's what we
but
do.
You don't always have the luxury when there is a shoot or a campaign that's greenlit to be like, yo, Sadhana, you have 2 weeks to plan your life, your home, your personal space to make sure that this works for you, because we need you to go there.
Exactly.
It's more like, are you coming to Cape Town tomorrow? And you're like, oh, blah, 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 who's going to bath the baby?
Who's going to take care of my child?
Or like, I didn't do the grocery shopping. And the effed up part of this situation is like, nobody warns you that if you don't do all of the parts that you're the only one thinking about, the mental load, your home falls to crap and you don't realize it, and you feel all the guilt. So even if you are focusing on your job and you're getting high fives in the office, which you're probably not because you're distracted.
You're never getting high fives after that.
No one gives you high fives.
Go away. Because at 5:30 you're being told, are you leaving now? You're running a half day when you've been there since 7:30.
I got a high five from my one of my managers the other day, and we were on a Teams call, and she was like, Sana, you're doing great, and I can't tell you, like, in the short amount of time that you've been here, you X, Y, Z, I loved how you, and I was like this, huh? I was like, say, wait, what? I was like, me, and I'm the only one on this call.
I'm really
like, she's
confused.
Me.
Are you gentle parenting me?
Or are you being sarcastic? I was like, yeah, I really am trying my best though. But I also just came with the humility of being like, it's not easy, girl, and I thank you for being so understanding. So that brings me to my question for you, which is, what do you think? Like, I believe that we are, and a lot of people do, the system is a bit broken.
Entirely.
So when I say the system is broken, it's not built to support both men and women, because I think I can speak for a lot of men that they have this, the paternal instinct they get when they have kids is, I need to provide.
Yes.
My kid needs to have everything I didn't have. And they go into this hardcore force of like, the work is the focus and it's going to be because everything my wife and child
to have
needs.
The best education, the best.
Someone has to hold that pressure.
There you go. So, and it sits with them.
And it starts off when I say the system is broken. First of all, they get 2 weeks of paternity leave.
If they're employed.
And
not self-employed.
Yeah. If you're self-employed, get your ass to work, right? You don't get paternity leave. Yeah. And that already is a problematic, like, entrance, because that's the bonding period.
Exactly.
And it's in those first 4 months when we're sitting at home with our baby where you're like, oh, this is their needs, this is what they like, this is what they don't like. And then after 4 months, you have to cut the cord and you go back and join him on the workforce for you to bring in an income to the household. But your priorities have shifted between, and it's not just 4 months of maternity leave. It was 9 months leading up to that. You're never going to be the same. So the system is built against us. What do you feel, why? I actually spoke to a friend about it, and they said that it's not going to change for the next 100 years. Like, there are initiatives that are looking into this. And even if we fight the good fight now as women, we're still, it's 100 years from now where it's going to change. Because a woman's value, who can you put that responsibility on?
Exactly. Look, I think there are several countries doing it right. Denmark is doing excellently.
Denmark.
Sweden is doing excellently. I have a friend in Australia who had her son at the same time I had mine.
Mm.
2 months in between. She was on maternity leave for 2 years,
Sure.
fully paid. And when it was found out that the child was actually, he had special needs, she was given further support.
Sure.
That was incredible. Her and her husband sustained their house, sustained their home. They kept the lifestyle they were accustomed to because of the support. But that is a system support. We unfortunately do not have that. The majority of countries don't have that at the moment.
When I say though the system is broken, I mean it doesn't. And because each woman and each family's needs are different, you'll never be able to support us in what I need. And
No.
I'm never going to be fully content because do I want to wake up and work from 8 to 6? Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, some days are like that.
Some days I want to be there. But some days I would also like to go for lunch and meal prep and make sure all the things are labeled so that everyone else can live in the
There
home
you go.
accordingly. Yeah, I don't know. This is
So your question, okay, so the way I read your question, and for me the very big thing about that is that me as one person or us as moms, it's, you can run a campaign till the cows come home and still not be heard. And I think this is something that happens over time. It is a process of evolution. It is a process of different systems in order for that to be supportive. But I think as a woman now, a mother now, the things that I can do,
the changes we can do
the
to
changes that
embrace
I
the
can make is
situation
very
we're
much
in.
it's an internal thing, and it is a individual thing. For me, one of my very, very big things is placing boundaries within my workspace, with my colleagues. I am available to you all day, 100% at all time. If there is emergency, I am available to you. However, we don't save lives. We don't live in that space. So we can cut off at 5:00 because you know why? I want you to go and spend time with your family. If you're not married, if you don't have kids,
you have friends. One or making one.
You have friends. You want to hang out with them. Live do the
life.
Things that fill you with joy, because I can tell you right now, the boundaries that I've placed is to ensure that I have a life that is filled with joy. So that for me is my first thing. It's boundaries, putting boundaries in place. Secondly, it is being very clear on what my level of prioritization is. My biggest priority are my kids. So they are sick, I'm going to have to leave the office and I'm going to have to get them. I understand there's a big meeting. I will log on and I will be there. There might be a child on my lap. I may not put my camera on, but I will be there and I will be presenting because I'm a professional and that's what I do, Having said that, I would say I've been lucky in my last place of employment in that they were very understanding. There were a lot of young parents, so it was a space that was accepting, right? But that is not the norm. That is not what everyone goes through. That is quite honestly the exception to the rule, But yeah, to answer your question, my very big thing, boundaries, prioritization, because if I put that out and I'm clear with my boundaries, I'm clear with things that are important to me and how I want to live, then great. We can work this way. No one wants a vague disclaimer. I want to be clear. I want to be clear about my needs. I want to be clear about your needs so we can work together.
So, the system, I just want to do an example of how it can, sometimes an establishment can have your back or it can really screw you over sometimes. So when I had Anya, I had a manager who I had read the T's and C's of my mat clause real well. Yeah. So I was like, cool, I get 4 months. They're like, if you want a 5th month, we can talk that through based off your leave availability. So you can drain that out and get some more time. And then there was also, I think it was 3 months of flexibility, which meant I could leave work at 3 p.m. and log on for the rest of the day. I had a female manager who literally said to me, yeah, but it's just so unfair because you're leaving at 3 and you take a lunch break. And in my head, I started questioning myself, like, am I not supposed to eat now? Like, when am I supposed to do my shopping? Like, these are things I do in my lunch break. I'm not like a girl to like go and park at a restaurant, but like,
I would absolutely love to. I would love the
I would
luxury
love
of
to.
doing that. But I can promise you I'm running errands at lunch break.
bro, I'm buying yogurt and formula. Like, but yeah, I just remember turning to my HR rep in that moment, and she, before I even had to say anything, she was like, pause. She absolutely gets a lunch break. She's still a full-time employee. She works 8 to 5. All she's saying is there's a couple hours in the day where she's going to do that from the comfort of her home just to align in this transition. And I was so grateful for that opportunity to have, like you said, that company was just one of the most understanding and well systems. So the system can support you, but it comes down to like people's education and awareness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, look, the thing is, at the end of the day, we all have our own needs and wants, right? And some people are going to feel slighted. And I mean, the conversation that I recall happening consistently is, yeah, but you decided to have a child, so you've got to work like the way the rest of us do. And I get that. I do. However, going to remind you, you are not a doctor, we're not saving lives. I promise you, things will
It's
always...
like a disclaimer, we're not doctors over here.
This is not what we do. We make ad campaigns, okay? We want to give joy to some people and we want to sell some good products, right? That's where we live. It's where we are. Understand the box. Doesn't mean we're going to slack. Absolutely not. I have never, ever, ever met a working mom who has not given 150... Honestly, I've never met a working mom who has not given 200% at all points. Because this woman, before she gets to the office at 8 o'clock, has already had a full-time job, making sure her kids were ready for school, prepped, sorted, done, dropped off at school. She comes to the office to take care of adult children there. Unfortunately, in my space, that is what I did and do consistently.
Project management.
There you go. And then I leave to go back home and see my kids and take care of them. So that work is never done. So the fact that you think that these women are not giving their all at all points is honestly ridiculous to me, truly.
How many times have you cried in a bathroom at work?
Once.
Once? Sure.
Because I'm a hot ass bitch and I will not cry, first of all. Second of all, I don't care enough for your shit that I'm going to release tears for this. Look, it's also something I'm chatting to my therapist about. I'm not really good at crying.
Solid.
So I know it's a problem. I'm working on it. But the thing that I can tell you that truly upset me is we were at one of those great work bonding days. We go do some terrifying heart-stopping activity, and then we're trauma bonded that way.
Love
and then
it for you.
And then we play a little bit of beer pong and everything is good. And then we give out fines. Who doesn't love a good fine? And for those who don't know what a fine is,
that's kind of like roasting.
You're sort of roasting because you have a good rapport with your colleagues and you're like, this is to Sadhana, who
always late for work because she loves her family more than
there you go, take a shot. And that's exactly what Tash got, because Tash got 2 shots because your kids are always sick. Yeah, at that point I had a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old who are in nursery school who are consistently passing germs around. And unfortunately, they are consistently sick. Did it mean I was consistently away from work? No. Did we have a flexible work from home policy? Absolutely. So why is this a thing?
Do you know what I find, though, in the situation like we were talking about, like, what can we do to embrace the system's broken? I don't want to cry about it forever, right? No. What am I going to cry about it for 100 years? I can't take back my kid as well. So we're in the situation. The system is broken. What I love to do when I find myself being overwhelmed by the effery and the unjust system and I'm feeling wronged and you're doing my baby dirty. You're not letting me be a good mom because you're guilting me about this thing. So what I like to do is exactly that. I'm here. The meeting's happening. Is my daughter with me? Yes, she is. If she's disturbing you, my mic is muted. I can also put the camera off. But if you want to see my face, sometimes it's a package deal.
There you go.
And I loved the idea of pivoting my life, even though like I said, when the place that I had Anya, there were players in the game who questioned the journey and your authenticity to your role because what you have a kid, you want special treatment. That was like a lot that you get as like a mom. It's not special treatment, but I'm just doing more than you, bro. I'm up sometimes from 2 a.m. Like, cut me some slack if I need to, like, have a down moment at 3 and then pick up at 4. But you pivot your life and you build a life that you can manage.
Absolutely.
So remote positions or hybrid positions are the future for women who have children. It's also very important to consider what career you get into as a woman, because at some point, if you want a family, you're going to have to pivot that dream.
There you go.
That, or you need to make peace with the fact that mommy loves you, see you on the weekend, and that's okay too. But you need to figure it out on how you handle the village and the cards.
This for me was the very big thing. It's why I left my job and went into my own consultancy. I can make my own times. I work with the amount of clients that I can work with, that are feasible for me to work with, in order for me to sustain a balance within my life, to be a present mom for both my boys, to be a present person for myself. And I know I haven't mentioned my partner a lot, and it's because I honestly don't have to. I'm very lucky that we have very much an equal partnership, and the decisions I have to make, or the hard calls I need to make, lie between my kids and going, okay, cool, now how do I also give myself time so I can be a human in this world, that I can work for the things that will give me joy, work for the goals that I have. And and it's the reason I walked out of advertising and went out on my own, because of that. And it's because becoming a parent has changed me so fundamentally that I know it was no longer a thing that could work.
I think it's just important to note, that's the thing. Just be prepared to pivot. That's the main advice I would give anyone who has kids. 100%. And it's not just working moms, it's dads as well.
There you go.
Be prepared to pivot, because you may need to no longer take meetings at 5 to 6, or you might have to be home at 4 to help with bath time. It's a shared responsibility. Sometimes we work up until X point, we go fetch our kids, and then we're prepared to catch up and burn that oil with each other afterwards, because we both have kids and we understand the situation.
There you go.
But it's that hardship when you put my heart in a tough place where I'm not coming home and I didn't see my kid the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know, because they are a responsibility. Nurturing a human mind.
It's a huge,
how are they going to feel going to bed never seeing a parent, or being able to stay true to what you said, see you later, and you don't? It's maybe I'm sensitive.
I've broken a promise. I've removed. I am putting the attachment and the relationship we have at risk for something.
Anyway, I think this chat, we could go on forever.
Honestly, we could.
But how do you decompress? What's your thing now?
So,
book binding and reading.
Bookbinding, reading. Look, am I going to doom scroll? Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm going to doom scroll. I'm going to try and save back some of my time in the day so that I only sleep at 1 o'clock.
We need to stop doom scrolling.
Oh, God, we really, really need to.
It's just killing our vibe.
And honestly, that has been the replacement.
But why do you do it? We spoke about it earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I do it so I can just have my mind shut off for a moment. So I'm not dealing with the needs of someone else, whether it is an adult, someone else, a child, someone else. I'm not dealing with my own needs at that moment, or whatever conversation I have going. It's to be silent.
Something helpful that I've been implementing with doom scrolling is your social platforms, I don't know if you know this, but every time you pick up your phone and scroll pointlessly, someone's making money off you. Yes?
That's
So
true.
you're actually helping other people become successful by mindlessly scrolling and tapping into links or clickbait that you had no business being into because you don't know how to control your own mind.
Is that your thought process? Not to stop you.
Yeah, that's how
I love that actually.
And also the
that
other
makes
thing
perfect
is
sense to me.
that helps. It doesn't mean I need to police myself and now I can't go on my phone and I must delete the app. No, I love a good scroll, but I use social media and all of these things as a tool. So if I go on Facebook, what am I looking for? Sometimes I'm looking at Marketplace specifically, or I'm checking up on my mom to make sure she's not using AI in the wrong way. Instagram, what am I doing? I'm researching how other podcasts are showing up in the market, and I'm looking at how you push content, what you like, how you view stories, what are people talking about. If I am not looking for a specific thing and following that trail, then I'm doom scrolling and I'm like, get out, girl.
I love
like,
that actually.
You have no right being here. You don't even know what you're looking for.
I love
so
that.
So if I'm looking for a type of content, like even let's say I've got a project with work, I will go and check what the competitors are doing. I'll start a file, I'll save the image to that, so when I come back it's all there. I didn't waste anyone's time and I respected myself.
I absolutely love that because you've actually made it something that is functional, purposeful, and the big thing is it removes the clutter because that's the
when you forget what you're doing there in the first place, you're like, what on earth was I doing here? Why am I in Temu and why do I now need to pay taxes for 500 rand when I bought 3 things? Like, I've been there, and every like parent in those like awkward hours of the morning, it's a very dangerous space to be in. And one of my cousins, she tells me, she's like, don't pick up your phone. After 9, put your phone down, girl. Like, you honestly, have no right taking your phone into the bedroom. Advice.
Do you know how many bullshitty things I've bought for my kids as learning aids?
I'm the victim of so much.
No, the media wants to talk to me and I'm just listening, and it's not a good thing.
Don't get us started on the algorithms. So when you're binding books, though, is that a project or because I did read this thing about overthinkers, which we both are, and I'm sure like a lot of people are. But it said the trick to being less hard on yourself is to just do a creative project. So when I saw you on TikTok binding books, I was like, yes, because even I think if your bestie is who I think it is, she also picked up a creative.
Oh, yes. So it's not the same person, but I know the person, and she is one of my closest friends, and she did pick up a very similar hobby.
And when I was going through like a bit of a hard time recently, I didn't have a creative project in mind. And I'm also in a very adult space in my career where the creativity is not needed that much, no one's fault. But I had sat down and I was like, what am I going to do? So do you know what I did? I printed pictures of my daughter's face. And about 20. And because she wasn't home that day, I cut it out and I bought sticks and I made these little like face masks for us to play with at a lunch. And I literally didn't think about my problems for a whole day, and I went to bed with peace. So a creative project like book binding or candle making,
Can I tell you, there's something to be said for keeping your hands busy and your mind busy. And for me, I definitely needed a creative outlet of some kind, and I went, cool, let me learn how to make a book, because of course that's the natural thought, you know. And
for a reader.
And also, look, to be fair, I was trying to solve a bit of a problem that I see in myself. So I'm not very detailed orientated.
Fair.
I see big pictures, I go, I sort out, boxes are ticked, done. But details are the thing that stump me entirely. And with bookbinding, it is details. It is consistent details. And if one
page can't be out of place, right?
There you go. One stitch is out of place, you have to restart the entire bind.
Interesting.
One fold is wrong, you've got to reprint, redo that portion. So it was a way to teach my mind and reprogram my mind how to focus on simple details. And also at the same time, it was just something I realized I actually fucking love.
Sounds like really calm.
It's therapeutic, it's peaceful,
Yeah.
and generally Taylor Swift is playing in the background. So
Always.
I'm pretty stoked about life at that point.
Love Taylor. Unapologetically so. Haters can hate, but Swifties till the day we die.
Bro.
Before we go, I wanted to ask you, and you did mention one of them, but
Yeah.
there's some books that I got recommended, and I
Ooh.
wanted to know if you had heard about them or if you plan to, yay or nay, just based off the title.
Very exciting.
Okay.
Let's go.
Fourth Wing, done
Yay.
it. Recommended.
Definitely
Okay.
go for it.
Lights Out.
Look, if you like something that is very tongue-in-cheek,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Okay, so you've read it. Okay. It Ends With Us.
No thanks, it's okay.
Did you read it?
I don't. I don't think it was a well-written book. Firstly,
I'm here for it.
it threw me out in certain places.
Mhm.
I struggle with Colleen Hoover as a storyteller. It's a very subjective thing.
Here's how I feel about Colleen Hoover. I got given the book maybe like 2 years ago or
Yeah.
something. Cover, loved it.
Very
Font,
pretty.
great. And that's obviously how I judge a book.
Of course.
Based off the cover. I'm sorry, I know you're not supposed to, but I'm a designer, I'm a creative. If your cover's trash, I'm out. The cover was great. Her covers are consistent. I love her font.
Love that.
Okay, I read the first few chapters. You had my attention. But I got distracted by life, which I do with most
Which
books.
is fair.
And then the movie came out. Very excited. Huge Justin Baldoni fan. Blake Lively, Gossip Girl. I never knew that she had so much controversy.
Oh.
Like all of the stuff coming out on TikTok now, I didn't know. But it was eye-opening to me, and it made me go and watch the movie to decide if I wanted to finish the book. And it's a no from me.
And that's fair.
That story made no sense, and I hope no one hates me for saying it, but it didn't make sense to me. I don't know if it's the acting.
Don't know if it's all the media coverage around it.
But
it's very interesting. This is actually a conversation I had with someone. They were like, did you dislike it because of everything going on, or did you dislike it because why? And I went, for me it was a badly done text. I didn't see the translation from the book into the movie because I did watch the movie. But having said that, I am someone who is very aware and I place myself in female conversations. I am very aware of statistics when it comes to gender-based violence, and it's the perspective that I live in is the feminist perspective. So for me, this is something that I will interrogate and deal with a lot. For someone who is in that space, who has never had someone to talk to or has never seen, I don't know, their life held up to them or noticed their situation, I think it's important for that. Because not all of us see the same things, and not all of us are privileged enough to be in a space where we are either taking care of ourselves, have taken care of ourselves, or have women who are supporting
I'm going to be
us.
honest about how I watched the movie.
Go for it.
Okay. So I was watching, and it was in the background a little bit.
That's fair.
I missed completely, and I'm sorry if this is a spoiler if anyone hasn't watched the movie, but
Stop now.
I missed completely the flashback to what was really happening. So in my head, I was like, and I also love Justin Baldoni. I'm a huge Jane the Virgin fan. So for me, I was just kind of like, he didn't mean to push you down the stairs, girl.
Everyone was just clumsy.
I was like, why are you so clumsy as well? Also, don't get behind someone when they touch a hot oven. Like, he got burned. There's reflexes involved in that. And I actually told my friend, like I told my best friend, I was like, I'm struggling to understand the point of that, like, of the breakup. When she went straight to the divorce after she had the baby, I was like, girl, he didn't mean to. Like, even me, I fling my hand when I get burnt.
I'm actually, this may be the best perspective I've ever
I
heard.
had
And the
such
funniest.
a blind spot to the whole thing. But that could be the media coverage and the lack of concentration I put into it.
Look, to be fair, you also have a 3-year-old. Okay, there are very, very few movies I watched until my son was 5.
Yeah.
And like Elementals, I don't know if you and Anya have seen it yet,
No.
but I've watched it about 395 times, and I only knew what the movie was fully about on time 281.
Okay.
Because I'd watched enough of the story in separate spaces to go, so cute.
Okay.
So, we'll give you grace.
I mean, I'm sorry to Colleen Hoover, and I'm going to go on a guess and say that I don't think we're getting another movie. So if
I
you
don't
are
think
interested in those kind of storylines, you have to read the books.
Her books.
Yeah. And that happens in real life. That's why books are beautiful. Thank you for being a bookbinder and educating me on something that I have so many blanks on. I will pick up one of these books and let you know how far I get. Yeah, thank you. I had such a good time catching up with you.
And this is terrible because we will talk forever and I adore you. So thank you for having me on and
pleasure.
letting us talk about all the things we now are.
Cool. And that's it.